Alrighty, guys. So a couple days ago, Ron DeSantis gave a State of the State address, and he said something in this address that I took a lot of issue with. He said that Florida is number one. Here's the clip.
Mr. Speaker, Madam President, members of the legislature, and fellow citizens, my duty under the Constitution is to inform the legislature concerning the condition of the state and to recommend measures in the public interest. Well, as we used to do in the military, here's the bluff, the bottom line up front. Florida is number one, and working together, we will ensure that Florida remains the number one state in these United States.
So that's the clip. You heard what he said. He also he sprinkles more of that in throughout the address. But I couldn't believe what he said, so I wanted to do research, and come to find out, it's not true. Unless you are just going solely based off of, like, tourism and tourist statistics. Yeah, Florida's number one in a lot of that. Tourism. They also have so much stuff that's in Florida that would that are tourist attractions. It's Walt fucking Disney World is in Florida. Okay, but regardless. Florida, the median income in Florida is $29,758. That's the median household income. That is below the average. So Florida's not number one in median income. So they're already not number one in that, but we have a lot more other statistics that we're going to go over here. Florida is definitely not number one when it comes to their children not being fucking poor. More than half, 56% of Florida's 4 million children are living in or near poverty or in households that are one missed paycheck or lost job away from affording basic needs. Guys, there's over like 60-something% of all households in the U.S., though, if they got hit with a $400 expense, a surprise $400 expense, and they just had to pay out of pocket, they probably would not be able to pay that. That's a statistic that's also true. So Florida is not number one in, they have a high child poverty rate. That's not great. Again, when it comes to tourism, Florida does pretty well. They do pretty good, okay? Something that Florida does really well in is human trafficking. Florida has the third most human trafficking cases out of all the states. They're only behind Texas and California, so when he says Florida's number one, he's close when it comes to human trafficking. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but we have that. That's good. I like that. Obviously, I don't. That was a joke. But we have... Where do you guys think Florida ranks in violent crime? They actually are. I was surprised. They're actually 26 in violent crime per 100,000 Americans. In the area. So they're like right in the middle when it comes to violent crime. So Ron DeSantis clearly isn't cracking down on the criminals, like how the Republicans like to say. He's not throwing them in jail like they like to do. 26 in violent crime. That's pretty high up on the list. That's not good. In terms of schools, specifically public schools, not higher education, Florida, you guys can see here, their overall rank is 25. So again, when it comes to this stuff that they should be high on the list in, stuff like schooling, they're rank 25. You guys can see this overall rank. You guys can't actually see it because my camera is blocking it. You guys can see it right there. It says Florida. Their overall rank for schools, schools that children and young people go to, middle, high school, elementary school. They rank 25 overall, and that's accounting for a bunch of different things. Florida is really, really, really bad in healthcare. Okay, Florida actually ranks really, really low in healthcare in the country. They rank extremely low. It ranks 41st overall. You guys can't see it because my camera's in the way again. Florida ranks 41st overall, and it's for healthcare, and its residents face many of the same healthcare and access and affordability issues challenges as people living in Texas with many uninsured and high insurance costs. Ron DeSantis, your state's not number one in healthcare, something that people need, a human right, something people need to live. So where is Florida number one at? Because when it comes to the shit that really matters, it's not number one. I have one more here. Teacher pay. Okay? Huge issue. Most people agree that teachers, their pay just needs to be higher. I saw a clip of Bernie Sanders on the House floor not too long ago saying that teachers need to have a minimum salary of $60,000 a year. That's great. Absolutely agree with that. But in Ron DeSantis' state, they rank, it actually went it went down after Ron DeSantis came into office. It was 46 when he started. Now they're 47th. And if for anyone that might be confused, if you don't want to be a high rank on these lists, you want to be number one in teacher pay, because that means you're paying your teachers the most. But Ron DeSantis' state is 47 in teacher pay. Why? I thought Florida was number one. They're only number one in stuff like, again, tourism. That's good for the economy. That's great. But it doesn't matter if they're not reinvesting all of the stuff that they get for tourism back into the community, back into the people that live there. Florida is a fast-growing state in terms of population, but then when you look at the statistics and where they rank on stuff that affects Americans' everyday issues, they're terrible. They're awful. So Ron DeSantis' claim that Florida is number one is categorically untrue. It is so easily disprovable. Again, there are some things that Florida ranks in number one, but when it comes to everyday, my Republican governor loves to say this, dinner table issues for Americans, they're doing terrible. Fucking awful. 47th in teacher pay, 47th in teacher pay, fucking god-awful rank in healthcare for Americans. Their children are living very close or in poverty, over 56% of them in or near poverty. Third in human trafficking. Those are just some stats that I wanted to share about Florida, number one state in the United States, according to Ron DeSantis. I thought I would elaborate on his claim because he didn't provide any evidence, so I wanted to help Ron DeSantis out and, tell everybody where his state ranks as the number one state for all of these different issues that the Republicans say that they care so much about. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button. It helps me out so much. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and then press that little bell. Turn on all notifications so you guys don't miss an upload.